Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a screenwriter's rant on Karen the movie from BET Television. This is the trailer people have been talking about. It's about a Karen that moves into this, or rather, this black couple moves next door to Karen, who's also racist. And this is very controversial. It's getting trashed all over the internet. So let's analyze the trailer. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books to support the channel so I can get Joan some more treats. Wokistan, a novel. Hollywoke, another novel about the movie industry, political satire, and of course, the Pineys, books 1 through 6. Book 7 coming out this summer. Comedy, horror in South Jersey. And check out our other videos on Bitchute and Rumble. We have 2 other videos today. One about some stuff that happened on the internet drama stuff, and of course, the news blast. Now, the video starts out, basically this is the same plot as a comedy movie. I don't know if you've seen it, Mike Epps. It's called Meet the Blacks. And it's virtually the same movie, except this is a scary movie and Meet the Blacks is a comedy. By the way, Meet the Blacks 2 is coming out with Cat Williams as a pimp, but he's actually a vampire. So it's like a different kind of version of it. But this movie's almost as funny because it's just full of like ridiculous tropes about racism and racist. Maybe this movie could have worked like, I don't know, 50 years ago, but in this she's just psychotic, right? So she's got some sort of psychotic aversion to black people, and her brother's a cop and he's just as nuts, and so she keeps kind of harassing them about their trash can and other things, and like she's just so painfully a bad person, not just a racist but just bad. This is just, I mean, it's racism porn for people who are like super woke. Oh yeah, evil Karen. So here, a couple teenagers messing with her, and she calls the cops on them, and her brother's the cop, and then she, of course, lies, and they get in more trouble, and the cops are totally overreacting, and they get harassed and searched, and then this little girl's like, oh, she doesn't like black people. It's really bad. It's getting trashed all over the internet. And of course, yeah, she's got to have like a Confederate, soap dispenser in her bathroom because, that's what a racist would do. But the first act is going to be the couple moves into the house. Everything's kind of normal at first, but they sense something weird and is off with Karen. And Karen seems nice, but immediately she starts installing security cameras just on the side of the house with the new neighbors. And she seems sort of standoffish and unfriendly at first. And by the end of the episode, they realize she's a racist. And so the second act is her harassing these people and escalating over and over again. It gets worse and worse and worse until finally by the third act, it becomes like the stakes are higher than ever. The wife wants to move. The husband's like, why should we move? And, it escalates to the point is they're shooting at each other. And I just don't see it as a realistic movie, I have been around long enough that I've seen people who are racist, right? People who are worried about neighborhoods that started to turn black or black people moved into the neighborhood. They would leave. They would move. They knew they couldn't do anything about the people moving in. They would just move. They would just assume that, oh no, the property values are going to go down. I'm going to move. Boom, they'd move. That's what happens. Do they become psychotic and try to murder their neighbors? Not usually. I mean, I'm sure if you went through all the news stories, you might find one, I guess. But, it's not. They're making this like, whoa, this happens. Like, this happens, not every day, but that's the kind of movie it is. And It's more of this, I don't know what you'd call it, racial porn, I guess you'd call it. Racism porn. You know, there was that other movie about the racist guy who gets sent back in time, and then, you know, it's like white people are the slaves and black people are the slave owners. Like he ends up in an alternate timeline and to be punished for his racial crimes. I mean, how much more of this are we going to see? Written and produced and directed by Cokie Daniels. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It looks like Coke Daniels. That's kind of funny. It's like Jack Daniels and Coke. Let's see. I don't recognize any of the actors or actresses. I assume the first one is Tanya Manning. Taryn Manning. Taryn Manning. Is she Karen? I assume she is. Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I guess this feels like a movie that was made because this is what the producers thought a black audience would like to see. I don't think they would want to see this. I don't think anybody wants to see this. I think this is a movie aimed at, you know, the guilty feeling woke people who are mostly white. So, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's that feels like a very tiny audience, a very tiny audience of, you know, closet bigoted woke people who see this and go, yes, yes, finally, as opposed to seeing it and going, what? You know, who acts this way? These very sort of two-dimensional evil people. That's why these movies, I think, don't work, and it doesn't really work for me in the trailer. Yes, there are racist people. And there are racist people of all races, by the way. But when you're talking about the racist who are white against black people, there's a very specific mode that they, you know, do. That first off, they're incredibly insecure. And they look for other people to join them in their racism. And they often are very nervous about that, and they test the waters in various ways, especially now, right? They're you know, you have to play characters at the height of their intelligence. You know, you can say racists are deeply ignorant people, and some of them are very hateful, but not all of them are stupid. So, if you're going to have a racist person, you want to make them realistic so you can portray that in a world in which people can see it for what it is. The problem, of course, is it's not as bad as the movies would have you believe, and it's more complex than that now. It's not 1962. It's just not. Yeah, back then, when I was a little kid, there were people who would say horrible things. I worked for one of the most racist guys I ever met. He was just, oh my God. He was a white guy. He was very angry. But he's probably dead. That guy, he did so many drugs and smoked like a chimney. And even that guy had a black buddy. He had a black friend. So, he obviously wasn't totally... I mean, he was racist, but... I mean, he said a lot of racist things anyway. But, you know, I mean, he had a black friend. The guy heard all that stuff. He just ignored it, I guess. So, I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is aimed at. If it's aimed at you, and you like this trailer, I would like to know why. Do you feel that this is a realistic interpretation of racism? I don't think it is. I'm giving it a rare downvote because I just think it's just stupid and boring. Oh, look at that. Look at the ratio. Oh my God, 14,000 downvotes to 4,500 upvotes. Ouch. Ouch, BET. Ouch.